Well, we back. Now, y'all know the other day, TD Jakes had a stroke on stage. They say he's stable or not. He also suing the man who came out and said that he forced himself on him as a teenager and he became an abuser himself. And he had an interview with Larry Reed. So then there's others. Cassie said she seen him at the Diddy party, him and Diddy together. So all these things, and I'm like, many people have prophesied about his downfall. So you make up your mind. I'm gonna play these videos. This probably be the last one I do today. But the Potter's House in Dallas just released a statement writing that the pastor experienced a slight health incident and received immediate medical attention. He is stable and under doctor's care. TD Jakes, you could see in the video where he was convulsing on air, and then he dropped the mic, but they rushed out there, and the church began praying for him in tongues and stuff. The preacher, a motivational speaker, was speaking to his audience both in church and by streaming. And while his voice seemed quiet and he wiped sweat from his brow, nothing appeared out of the ordinary at first until you see him convulsing. So we just gonna let the prophets speak on what they said about him. So I'm saying, is this because the Bible say that judgment come to the church first, and there was another pastor, couple of them that dropped dead in the middle of them preaching from heart attacks. There was one in Detroit that did that, but he lived. I'm just saying, we got to be mindful. God ain't playing with the people. God is not playing. Touch my anointed, leave my prophets no harm. Woe unto you. Lord, wait, nah, I lost that. Okay, so this the first one. This Cassie, he said she was lying.
That's why I was asking, like, why? Because, like, in the world we live in today, they're not just gonna say nothing if he's allegedly gay, they're not just gonna just, you know what I'm saying? That's not, like, people don't care about that, like, in today's world. Right. Now, if you got a wife, hey, side party, you and your pastor, now you're a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like behavior. Yeah. So like, I get that. You want some behavior? I mean, if Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money.
After all those legal troubles hitting Diddy, it's like a chain reaction affecting everyone around him. It feels like Diddy is carrying around a bag of negativity. And guess who's the latest to catch some drama? TD Jakes, the highly respected man of God. Can you believe it? While we can kind of understand why Diddy has shady rumors in the music industry, dragging someone like TD Jakes into it is on a whole new level. Now let's talk about TD Jakes, the big name pastor who's been blowing up online since December 24, 2023. Why? Well, there's this TikTok user making wild claims about him. Apparently, R&B singer Cassie Ventura spilled some tea to the FBI, accusing Diddy of serious stuff a month after filing a lawsuit against him for some pretty awful acts during their decade-long relationship. After settling her issues with Diddy, Cassie supposedly handed more evidence to the FBI, including tapes from Diddy's wild parties and even Kim Porter's secret phone. Here's the jaw-dropper. The TikTok user claims there's an email pointing fingers at Diddy's close buddy, Pastor TD Jakes, the same man who officiated Kim Porter's funeral. Crazy, right? According to the TikToker, there's a clip floating around where some dude spills the beans that Cassie provided tapes showing Diddy's wild parties, involving not just TD Jakes, but a bunch of other big shots. Things allegedly got scandalous, with rumors of involvement with multiple men. Now, TD Jakes is reacting for the first time to these allegations. So what exactly did he say? Well, you Better buckle up because what's coming is seriously messed up.
Anything, this is allegedly. Ain't nobody gonna catch me slipping, okay? Okay. So allegedly, Cassie has turned over evidence to the feds. Yes, to the feds. She has turned over videotapes, a USB drive, and Kim Porter's burner phone. Now, there's also an alleged email out saying a plethora of other things that include TD Jakes with Diddy. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. I'm not gonna say nothing.
So, we all know TD Jakes, the big deal behind the Potter's House Church in Dallas, right?
Every time.
He's like the top Christian preacher in the US, hanging out with celebs, especially Diddy. Time magazine even called him America's best preacher. And the New York Times labeled him one of the nation's most influential and mesmerizing preachers. But hold up, things are getting weird. Diddy and Jakes, who've been tight, are now in the spotlight after Diddy got hit with lawsuits for alleged misconduct. Diddy's been pretty credit for helping him out during some dark times in 2021. They even teamed up to bring Jake's sermons to Revolt TV. Now, with this TikTok video claiming that Diddy's ex, Cassie, spilled the beans on some shady stuff, saying Jakes was up to no good with young folks at Diddy's parties, it's a total head scratcher. The internet is going nuts over it. The email making the rounds spills the beans on the real nature of Diddy and Bishop Jakes' relationship. But first, let's understand that Bishop Jakes is not of God. He is undoubtedly a Freemason, as was Diddy, though it seems Diddy may have lost
facts. Now that's a fact.
His soul is still spoken for by the devil, according to this email. The email claims that back in June 1983, Kim Porter accused TD Jakes of messing with a young guy just a year after tying the knot with his wife. The whole thing got hushed up somehow. Fast forward to 1999, and a guy threatened to spill the beans on Jakes, but mysteriously vanished. Pastor Blank spills that the dude got paid off to stay quiet. 2 years later, the same guy turned up dead with a gunshot to the head.
Wow.
Talk about shady, right?
Wow.
Though, this all allegedly happened at Emmanuel Temple of Faith in Smithers, West Virginia. Rumor has it that folks from Jake's hometown insist he's been on the down low with guys all along, with talk of
I believe that.
grooming him. When Jakes hits up Diddy's shindigs, rumors suggest he's indulging in massive amounts of booze and puffing on cigars in some exclusive part of the house. Just because he's in a private area doesn't mean he's off the radar. Apparently, he's still under scrutiny. And get this, the bishop's wife never shows up to Diddy's bashes. And word is she's well aware of what's going down.
I believe
People
that
are
too.
saying she's questioned
I believe
why
that
she's never
too.
been on the guest list. According to this email, Cassie's in the loop about the bishop's scandals, and Kim Porter found out through servers who spilled the beans about Diddy's wild parties.
Set him as he is set to sue Jakes for an incident that took place when he was just years old. It's been said that the young man was forced to perform sloppy toppy. And I'm paraphrasing here, guys. You can actually put two and two together to understand what I'm trying to say. It's been said that the man's family were members of the Potter's House.
Kim was all set to spill the tea in her book. It's wild, right? But hey, we've got to remember these are just some crazy claims floating around on social media. No hard evidence. Still, that didn't stop everyone from going.
That's one. Celestial was one, but I believe it. I always thought that about him. And this is all allegedly because it haven't came out. But hold on. No. Dang. See, that was an old one. I ain't wanted to play all the way. I got to get to it. I got so much on Diddy. They done named Clive Davis as Diddy handler. Dang, that's all Diddy. Where's my TD Jake stuff? Lord, I don't want to go. I want to go in order. I got so much information. It just don't make no sense, y'all. On the New World Order, the Illuminati. Just give me a second, shit. It's coming. They them. You know what? I'm gonna start go backwards. Damn. Damn, that video was from September. Did y'all know Serena Williams was bleaching her skin? Wendy Williams supposed to be dying.
Hey guys, Dawn, welcome to the Messy Sweet Spot. I'm your host.
However, now that Diddy has had to step down from his position at Revolt, people are side-eyeing everything he brought to the table and wondering if there was an ulterior motive behind his collaboration with TD Jakes. A lot of people also think TD Jakes has made some very questionable collaborations with other famous shady celebrities. Take Tyler Perry, for example. I'm sure y'all remember when Tyler said he felt touched to donate $1 million to Tyler Perry's church and lay hands on him.
Our God all over you. I pray his favor. I plead the blood of Jesus. When someone going to run to us, speak to it. God, thank you for your blessings.
This is Messy T Spot.
I know I'm bad, so after a big party, I'm gonna say what type, say where. I'm asleep. Because I'm 4-5 Hennessy's deep and not short Hennessy's either. And this dude tries to climb into bed with you. So you spaz out, push him out, like what the get ready to leave. He apologizes, blame it on the alcohol. And you try to forgive it. So you're like, all right, man. All right, I'm going. You shake his hand on the way out, and he tries to grab your fingers. He tries to shake and grab your equipment. And you spaz even more. Like, what the f*** you doing? What the f*** you... What the f***? Not my bad. So you go to leave, he tries to do it again.
Although Christian didn't name any names, fans couldn't help digging into the story.
That was Tyler Perry.
I'm not anti-gay, I'm not anti-anything. I don't want to even be known about what I'm against. I want to be known about what I'm for people better themselves. No matter who they are, where they are, all they can be to be all that they can be.
He recently said this about African Americans.
A lot of people felt like TD Jakes was trying to say he hated gay people while hiding behind the scripture and his role as a pastor, and people weren't having it. However, it got even worse when the rumors about TD Jakes being one of Diddy's partners started spreading on the internet. And now, the more people dig into TD Jakes' involvement in Diddy's scandal, the more it looks like TD Jakes definitely has some scary skeletons in his cupboard. But now I need to know if you guys think TD Jakes is really as involved in this mess. As Kendall Brown just dropped some seriously sickening footage showing rituals that Hollywood higher-ups allegedly force young actors to participate in.
So you got Panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so
when it comes down to that certain thing, is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum, and if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal. You can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much, when you see black eyes like Blueface and like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else. Okay, and so the eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes, and they do this to. So you see people with these cigars, and they're all these big celebrities. They all have the cigar in common. That's that big thing between their legs that they're sticking in, and it's one big society. And I mean, then you gave me the oosh-gosh, goosh-wash. You gave me the oosh-gosh, mwah, the shoosh-wash. Hey, I mean,
Casting couch that existed in Hollywood is the part of both myth and concrete reality. Any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of sexual politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to, inappropriate behavior to the point of harassment and sexual predators.
it is absolutely sick. First time it really hit me was at Seth's. Seth turned to me and opened up this secret bookshelf, and he's like, "Is this where we keep the children?" And I was like, I tried to just put it out of my mind, but then about a month later, he basically admitted that he's a pedophile. Did I lie about Seth Green? No, Seth Green.
Seth Green, a pedophile. Wow. Steven Spielberg. They ain't lying. Okay, now.
T.D. Jakes is under extreme stress right now, man. He is the bishop made up to himself. Jumped on him in.
Now this is the man that accused T.D. Jakes.
I had to exit quicker than I got over there, and when I started to walk past him, he pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me, and tried. And in that moment, I literally died. I could not. I tell you, to this day, I can't remember how I got out of that place. But I remember driving home and all kinds of crazy thoughts and what in the world am I going to do now? And I finally get home, get in the house, get in the bed. I'm going to try to go to sleep. And I get to sleep and get up in the morning. And in the morning, I step into our bathroom and my home phone rings. My mother answers the phone and she says to me, "Wayne, it's Elder Jakes." And I get on that phone. And when I get on that telephone, I can hear water. He is sitting in a bathtub. And in that thing, he says to me, without any hesitation, there's 3 things I need you to do. The first one is, when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is, you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you the rest of your life.
Wow.
Under fire from all angles, from the Diddy, the Young Blood, and you got all kind of other people calling them power bombs. Now, this gotta be tough on a 67-year-old man, but these allegations have to have some kind of truth to them, because they too detailed and they sound too similar. Y'all, you know that Bishop T.D. Jakes' son was caught in a sting. The sting that they got with the men with the teeth. I'm talking about chicks with the dick. I'm talking about Dallas police.
Yeah, both of his stepsons are not his. Those are his wife's first 2 kids. Both of them are gay. That's true, and he was caught in a sting. Make sense. I ain't gonna take that no further, but I know what I was thinking when I found that out. Both of your sons. And he like young boys. Okay. Oh, I was going up. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, I got so much on Diddy. Oh my God, that's gonna be like 2 hours, and I ain't had the time. Oh, I already did R. Kelly. Now this Judge Joe Brown, what he said, he don't mix no words.
All new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Justice in the form of flavor.
Law firms will take this as a retain. My Redeemer, let go in peace.
Talk about TD Jakes because he did have a medical scare Sunday during his Potter House Sunday service. All right, so let me share this. So TD Jakes, so before he almost passed out, this is the clip leading up to it.
Oh Lord, my strength, my Redeemer, let us go in peace.
Oh shit. I do. How do I enlarge it? How do I? Let me just close this off and start. Oh, here we go. Oh, they got it that small.
So
You know what you're looking at, don't you? That moment of it dawns on you. If I've been raising all this money, so is swing low, sweet chariot, or is it swing low, sweet Cadillac? And am I going to hell? Oh goodness.
Because some people say this Judge Joe Brown, he think that it was a money grab. Some people said it was fake. Judge Joe Brown thinks it was fake.
Oh Lord, am I gonna find out immediately what I've been doing? See, that's screwed somebody up a little bit. Maybe we might get some honest preaching and some of that money being given back to the community instead of his self-enrichment.
hey, fam. So this is his daughter and her husband giving people an update on her father's health.
Hey.
I know that today's been an interesting day for us. But we didn't want to we're giving you all an update about how everything is going with Bishop. We want to thank you first of all for your prayers, your support, your concern. It's truly been a blessing.
Yeah, we felt those prayers. Obviously, today could have been a tragic day, but it wasn't. By the mercy of God, by the grace of God, Bishop is doing well. He's recovering well. He's under medical care. He's strong. We're trying to get him to sit down. He's the strong bishop that we know. But we really can't thank you enough for your prayers, for your intercession, for all your kind words, and keep it up. People asking, what can we do? Keep praying. Keep encouraging. It means a lot to our family.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that he's already beginning to improve. And I think it's just a reminder.
Oh my God, this thing. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. Yep, so Judge Joe Brown think that it's all a scam. Now that's that man who,
what Tyrone and Youngblood put in this demand letter to Jakes. Basically, give me the money. If you don't want me to keep talking, just, hey, give me $6 million and I'll go away. But if
right?
you don't,
That's the
I'm
guy
file a lawsuit
I
against
told you
alleging
the show
sexual,
earlier.
Assault, etc.,
The
etc.
lawsuit.
Also, we learned today
He won
that on
5.6
today,
million.
November 25th, 2024, the Jake's attorneys filed a defamation lawsuit against Dwayne Youngblood. And again, I'm summarizing. They said in this suit, listen, we received this demand letter. This is a scheme where Mr. Youngblood is trying to enrich himself financially with lies. What he's saying is not true. They also say the defendant's conduct has caused excruciating stress, emotional and physical, for Mr. Jakes, and that they want the court to put a stop to this scheme immediately so that Jakes can continue on with his life's work, but also he can retain his reputation. This was filed in the Pennsylvania federal court, as I said today. Now, I want to, before I let you go, I want to share my thoughts on this, but I also want to reiterate a theory that I talked about 6 months or so ago. Well, first I will say, do I believe that Dwayne Youngblood and Jakes has some sort of relationship at some point, or had some sort of contact that was very, very suspicious? Yes. But as I said, when I was initially discussing Dwayne Youngblood's October 27th video on the Larry Reed Live podcast platform on YouTube, I don't believe any of the stuff he said went down the way he said it did. He alleged that this man tried to force himself on him. I think it was consensual, whether it was just a kiss, whether it was a touch, whether it was a full-blown sexual relationship. I don't believe there was any forcing. I don't believe there was a power dynamic where he felt pressured. I don't believe any of the things he said. I simply believe that there was something nefarious that went on, but he was very much down for it. Right? But also, I have shared before that, it's wrong to try to blackmail people. It's wrong to try to pressure people to give you money to keep you from, quote unquote, spilling the beans. I shared initially that this was all about money, not just for Dwayne Youngblood, but also for the platform where he shared his story on October 27th. For instance, in this defamation lawsuit, at the time of this recording, which means in a few hours, something could change. In the next day or two, something could change. But at the time of this recording, from what I understood from the lawsuit, Jakes never said he didn't have a relationship with Dwayne Youngblood. He simply was saying it didn't happen the way he said it. He was not forced. I never tried to kiss him, force a kiss on him, things of that nature. See, those are two totally different things. It puts me in mind of something that Eddie Long said. Remember, the boys had come out, of course, this was a million years ago. The boys had come out and made their allegations, but their allegations were this: he groomed us. He bought us gifts. He basically tricked us into these relationships. And when Eddie Long came out that Sunday at his church at New Birth, this is what he said: I'm not the man they say I am. And because I have found from experience, most, and when I say most, I mean over 50% of people do not listen when people are speaking. They hear what they want to hear. They're not really listening. They're just hearing. And there's a difference between listening and hearing. And so people started clapping because they heard him say, I'm not the man they say I am. So they assumed, because they weren't listening, they were hearing, that he denied the allegations. But in actuality, that wasn't a denial. At that time, I was working with abused children, adults, and youth. And I was saying, not on YouTube, because I wasn't on YouTube, but my friends and I who were in the field, we said, uh-oh. Why? Because, of course, we had sat down with people who had done abusive acts, but who have also been victims of it. And what he basically meant was, I'm not the man they say I am. They said I forced them. They said I tricked them. I didn't do that. What he was saying was the relationships were consensual. Because when someone didn't do it, you know what they say? I didn't do it. I didn't do anything they're saying. I never had any sexual relationship with them, consensual or otherwise. But when you say, I'm not the man they say I am, that's not the same as saying I didn't do it.
Facts.
Theory. I have said this for 6 months, that
In observing Jakes for the last few decades, and of course also having a mentor who's now dead, who was very, very much involved in that church for a number of years. This is when it was the original Potter's House when he came to the Dallas, Texas area in 1996 and so on. I think this man would come out before he would allow anyone to ruin, destroy what he has built. Now, when I say come out, it's very difficult to get people to understand that, because when you say that, people think of the traditional way that people come out, where they say, I'm gay, or I'm bisexual, or I'm non-binary, or whatever. No. He wouldn't do it that way. Jakes is a prolific speaker. He's also, in my opinion, very manipulative when he speaks.
Facts.
So
he also is a
I
Freemason.
His manipulative ways go over the heads
he
of most of the people you see in those
too,
audiences,
and that's my opinion.
in those church services. They have no clue that this man is simply manipulating them. That's how good he is. So he wouldn't come out like that, but it would be in such a way, what I call quasi coming out, where he would admit but not admit to being gay. And you say, how on earth can someone admit but not admit to being gay? Someone who's very good at manipulating people.
Yep.
Matter of fact, Larry Reed Live, the person who obviously is gay, who has said things like, if the lights were out and someone was sucking his penis, he wouldn't care if it was a man or a woman. See, that's quasi saying I'm gay. I know some people would hear something completely different. But at the end of the day, this man and his wife would hold hands, make a video, and he would quasi come out before he would allow anybody to take away his millions or even a piece of it, to destroy the legacy that he has built, not that God has built, or the empire he has spent most of his life building. And he would not allow anyone to bring shame on his family or the facade he's built. He would come out first. Again, quasi coming out, not the way we would traditionally think. I am still very baffled by something he said during the New Year's Eve service at the Potter's House in December of last year, when he said,
I want to be swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed?
to share this story with you all exactly 1 year to today's date. I mean, I started those who are tender spiritually. A lot of us, we got thick skin spiritually, meaning we've seen some stuff, maybe been through some stuff with mama and daddy did what, or daddy did or mama did, right? So it's one of those situations. So what I'm saying is, before I launch into this story, let's all walk very carefully. And just because nobody can see you in the comments, your conscience is there. So whatever you're going to be typing, not on this one, because the comments are closed, but as this stuff begins to come out, walk carefully. Be sensitive if you can. And if you can't, on the road from what was at that time one of the best international Bible colleges in the world. So not just in the U.S., the world.
Woman who just spoke, this when she broke the news about Jakes and the church.
Because she was very well known and very well connected in that community there in Oak Cliff. She actually took in boarders from this college, okay? And they would rent rooms in her home, all right? By the time I met her, she was still renting rooms in her home, but Mr. R, okay, his first name started with an R. So Mr. R used to be a boarder in her home. Now, I don't know if he came to her by way of Christ for the Nations, because she was so well connected, like friends of hers who had friends or people that were graduating college, like just regular old college. If they needed some place to stay, there was no such thing as Airbnbs, all this stuff to do. At this time, my mentor, Mr. R, and his wife, they were all members of the Potter's House. Became a member of the Potter's House when T.D. Jakes left West Virginia and started his ministry in Dallas. Before he left West Virginia and started the ministry, he had come to Dallas, Texas a few times to do meetings. And she and all her friends, that's how they learned about him. And so the word had gotten around that he was going to be starting his ministry in Dallas. And so they were already, prepared to leave their churches and join. And so they did. So my mentor, Mr. R, his wife, many other people they all were on the ground floor of helping that ministry become what it became in Dallas. Mr. R was a part of the ministerial staff. He became a minister, and he was very close to T.D. Jakes. Okay, so let me get back to the story. So basically, she tells me that, well, he called and said he needed to talk to me. He needed advice because he was considering leaving the ministry. And she said he told her that, he was going to share some things with her that she could never tell anybody. And so later on, she tells me and a few other people that he did come. They had set up a time and day for him to come to our house. He came and he talked with her for several hours, just divulging stuff, behind the scenes ministry stuff. And she told us some things I can never tell y'all, but what he did tell her was that T.D. Jakes was gay, and that T.D. Jakes had a relationship with a man. Now, I will stop and say, whether that man was Mr. R, I don't know, because she never told us that. But then she told us there are things I can never say, I can never tell, because I swore, that I wouldn't tell, some of the stuff that he told me. But he also, there was a lady by the name of Rita Twiggs who was a part of this ministry at that time. And she was telling us that, he was telling her about how Rita Twiggs had been cussing people out behind the scenes and just a lot of stuff like that. And I'll tell you, as soon as they got through talking, she left that church. My mentor did, and it devastated her. It hurt her. And by this time, my mentor is in her 70s. When I met her, she was in her 70s, but she was later on in her 70s. But it devastated her because I just, this was a time when, we live in a day where learning that somebody's gay is kind of like, what? Okay, whatever. Because we're just so used to it. We're so used to that. Such and such has come out, such and such is now transgender, Caitlin, Bruce is now Caitlin, that's kind of the norm here. But this was a time when to learn someone was gay was a shock. Like it was devastating. Okay. And so she was devastated. And I'll tell y'all, she was never the same. Matter of fact, okay, so let me get back to the story because it's so easy to go down rabbit trails with this stuff. So anyway, so as soon as that was over, she left the church and she told me, I want you to come and help me find another church. And so I came back to the state. I would come for business every blue moon and I would visit her and the circle of friends that we had. But I came and not specifically just for that, but it was a time I was going to be coming and we'd set that up. And I went to 2 churches with her trying to help her find another church. And she never did. But I'll tell you, not too long after the things that Mr. R shared with her and swore her to secrecy to, she had a stroke. And I never said this to any of our friends because I didn't know if it would ever be the right thing to say, but I'm going to say it to y'all because I feel more comfortable telling it to strangers. I always believed, and I still believe it now, that it was the stuff he told her that contributed to her having that stroke. So thank you for joining me for part 2 as I continue to share the story. I don't mean have some extensive conversation, but I remember, without going into the details, he brought we knew it was his boyfriend, but he brought his boyfriend to an event that I was a part of running.
Wow.
And I remember he said to me, now he did not know me, but I just was there, and he said to me, I'm about to bring my friend, he referred to him as his friend, this is the darkest skinned son again, in here, and just kind of watch over him, make sure nobody bothers him, and da-da-da. And I said, oh, okay, I will. And yeah, and I tried to, and so, and just to be clear, this was a class, it was an event, it was an educational type event, and he brought him there. So, now let me share something else. My mentor told me, and I'll never forget this, I had come to visit the state for business, and we were at Luby's, L-U-B-Y', we went to Luby's, which is something down there in Texas, and kind of like a Golden Corral type place. And so I'll never forget, she was telling me that a friend of hers told her that at their home, there was a time when the Jakes lived near what is not White Rock Lake in Dallas. Okay, they had a home. They used to have a home over there. And she told me her friend was part of this group of people that had gone to the house. But I don't know how many sessions they had, but this was a time, as I said earlier, where people kind of saw homosexuality differently, especially in the church. And so they believed that it was an evil spirit and it could be cast out. And so she was telling me that the friend had said that they had had a few sessions at the Jakes home where they were trying to cast the devil out of these two boys. And I remember, I'll never forget, she said to me, she said, and
Lord, can the devil cast out the devil? No. You can't make this up.
they said every time they would get to a point where they thought they were going to cast him out, Jakes would leave the room. Why? I don't know what he was leaving the room for.
Yeah, he left the room. I'm sure he did leave the room.
So yeah. Now, let's see, what else do I want to share before I let you guys go on this part 2? Cora, yes. You remember last year when all this stuff was going on with Michelle Loud and the allegation of Cora taking her baby and so on and so forth. Remember, and this did break my heart, but I couldn't say anything because I didn't feel free to tell it. But, so much is about to come out. I think all of us who've known things, there's no point in trying to hold on to this stuff. It is what it is, and people are who they are, for good or for bad. So a lot of people were making fun of Cora, and they were like, what's wrong with Cora? Is she special or something? And that really hurt me because what people don't know is Cora does have a learning disability. Now, which one it is, I don't know. That part I can't tell you. But how I know this is because my mentor, as I said earlier in part 1, she was very well connected in the community. She was a former educator. There was a woman whose first name starts with a K. So Miss K, who used to drive, and I'm saying this because I want anyone listening to know I can't be sued. She used to drive a blue sports car, okay? She worked in the corporate world at one point before she went out full-time in ministry. She had a car accident that injured her back, and her back was injured for some time. But Mrs. K ran a program at the church. It was hers. Her and her sister ran this program that was for women. And it was kind of sort of like, you could say, if I could put you in mind of something like a finishing type school, but it was a class. It wasn't a school, it was a class. And you would graduate from this class. Now, later, Sarita took that program and turned it into what they later called the debutante program for young girls. But that's not how it originally started. But that lady, Mrs. K, was also on the ground floor of the ministry, very connected to Sarita. And Sarita had commissioned Mrs. K to find a tutor for Cora. So Mrs. K, who my mentor was her advisor as well, called my mentor. And she was saying, we need to get a tutor for Cora. Do you know anybody? Because, like I said, she was a former educator. And she did. She was able to connect them with a tutor for Cora. So now I'm not saying Cora's special needs. I don't know anything about that. But what I will say is that, yes, she has a learning disability. And so very often people are making fun of folks and they don't know what people have going on or things like that. And I feel like that's very cruel and it's unnecessary. I don't feel like any of us who are commenting on these things have to make fun of people and do those things. I don't think we have to take it that far. But you know what? To each his own. I can only run my little ship over here. Now let's do this before we end. When all the stuff comes out over the next days and weeks about Thomas, TD Jakes, which stands for Thomas Dexter, for those who may not know, I don't want to assume everyone knows what that stands for. I want all of you to understand that Sarita was a part of the cover-up. So very often when things come out about these husbands, the wives, the wives get to play innocent.
That's a
People
fact. I know she knew. I know Sarita knew. I know she know.
Eddie Long situation. People assume they're innocent.
Wife always
the wife kind of skates off and people look at her like, aw, but that's never the case.
Right.
It's never the case. One of the things I have to say that I respect about Melinda Gates, and I don't know her from Adam or Eve, but when rumors came out that her husband, Bill Gates, the billionaire, had connections to Jeffrey Epstein, what did she do? She immediately divorced him. Not to say that they had the best marriage anyway, because when your husband is going on vacations with his ex-girlfriend, well, we already know what that's about. But she had a line, is my point. She had a line that you can't cross this line. And so what I'm saying that to say, when women like Sarita, go along, participate in, when I say participating, I don't mean necessarily the act, I just mean go along with the cover up and pretending that it's not what it is, that's what makes these things go on for years and years and years, because as women, we have power. And when we leave a man, people know something's up. Like everyone knew when Melinda left Bill, that was a direct confirmation that he had ties to Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, she hadn't left him over the girlfriend stuff, vacations with the girlfriend, which I'm sure she had to some degree agreed to. Who knows the state of their marriage? Maybe they were married on paper, but not married, which doesn't make it right. I'm just saying we have now learned what's been going on forever, which is people on one side, you see that they're married, but they have some special arrangements. And some people are down for that stuff and some of us aren't, okay? But at any rate, what I'm saying is when it all comes out, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, poor Sarita. No, it's not going to be poor Sarita. Sarita, people have gotten information back to Sarita for years about her husband. But there came a time when certain things were getting back to her, and then he took over her email. I mean, listen, Thomas buys Sarita's clothes. He's always bought her clothes. And so you got to understand the kind of state Sarita was in when she met Thomas. I mean, she didn't have anything. I mean, yeah, anyway, I don't want to go there. It's not necessary to go there. But at any rate, my point is she's not innocent. Now, I do think, she was aware of the situation, of the quote unquote slip ups, as they used to call with Mr. R and his wife. But I think there did come a time when, they had conversations, but then there came a time when the deception began to set in. If it's true that Thomas had these high power relationships with other men, sexual relationships, that part she probably didn't know about, because you got to understand that Sarita would be described as a woman who doesn't have the strongest constitution, meaning she has always tended to lean more to easily, being ill. And so I think in all of this, he has tried to protect her from finding out about the high power relationships.
She knew.
But I just will tell you that what you see of these two people's marriages on screen,
baby,
even when they do the model home series, I think I shared with you guys, my cousin loves those things. And even though I've tried.
Some people saying it was a scam. That's why my question is, was it a medical scare? Was it guys just, I should have put scam on there. You know what? I'm going to change the title. Was it a medical scam or judgment? I'm about to change the title. Yep, y'all, I got to get on up out of here. Let me let this play. This is an old clip from a lady who went there. She posted this over a year ago about them already knowing that he was gay, allegedly, right?
Her girl, it's nothing like that. She won't see, like, she'll be one of those people when all this stuff comes out. She'll be one that's devastated. She really will.
Fact.
So at any rate, just understand that wives are not innocent. They're not.
She knew.
They know.
I know she knew.
And if they wouldn't participate, if they would stop participating in the cover up, these things wouldn't be able to go on for years. Now, the person would still be doing what they were doing, but they couldn't do it to the level. You understand what I'm saying?
And this is this lady's channel. Let me show y'all. It's MVMO.
What she had done if she left him, she didn't have nothing. She had nothing. She came from nothing. She was a coal miner's daughter. When I say she came from nothing, I don't mean she as a person isn't valuable. What I'm saying is she didn't come from prestige or money or anything like that.
I can't show it.
She was excuse me, guys.
The channel is MVMO channel.
From upside
capital MVMO.
And it was because of him.
There's no face to it or nothing.
She is and has all that she does. So I don't know. I'm not trying to get into her mind and understand why she stayed, why she was okay with him having these extramarital relationships. I don't know. All I know is I'm not even sure if she would have ever had anything had it not been for him. And so maybe she felt some sort of devotion to him because of that. I don't know. And he did take her 2 sons that she had out of wedlock. Again, not a shaming statement. I'm just saying that because that's the phrase we used to use. And he raised them.
Right. And both of her sons are gay as well. Now, he liked young men. I'm not saying allegedly. I'm just thinking if he messed with them or not. I don't know. That's allegedly, but that's definitely my thought for both of them. And one got caught at the park with a young man, and he brought one to an event that um that she tried to cover up, as a member of the church. But this deep, and this, she revealed all this a year ago. That's why I'm gonna have to do a part 2. Oh shoot, part 2.
No.
And like she said,
Yeah.
Sarita knew.
Now, as I get ready to let you go, I want to say this. Just let's all of us walk careful as this information begins to come out. What do I mean by walk careful? Let's not be hateful and mean. Comment sections. That's why I've chosen to close the comment section on these two, because the internet is just a cesspool. It really is. And I rarely close comments. I mean, a lot of you have been with me. That's not something I do. But when it comes to these particular subjects, people just get out of control. They feel like because nobody can see me, I can just say anything and type anything and it's sad. People have forgotten that we still need to exercise self-control, girl, even though it's the internet. You can't see me, but you think I'm going to come on here and just talk to you the way I talk to you if we were at Starbucks? I got enough sense to know better than that. So we have to remember that these people do have children, and their children have children. And you say, well, they are my response. No, I'm not saying it's your responsibility to care about their feelings. But what I'm saying is that we need to just be careful. So I won't be shocked by anything that comes out, but I do know a lot of people are. And I just hope that they don't put it in the lap of God. God doesn't have anything to do with these folks' messes and schemes and sleeping around and whoremongering. He has nothing to do with it. And so what I would encourage all of us to remember, especially if you are going to be devastated, don't let that affect your relationship with God. Okay? And if you do begin to wonder, why did God allow this and all that, you have to understand it wasn't God allowing, it was us allowing. These rumors have been out for years. How come the church never held him accountable? Maybe he would have sat down years ago. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you later.
What y'all think? I changed the title. What y'all think? Oh, we're going to get into Allie Carter and P. Diddy. I was thinking Allie Carter was suspect, but she don't accept any money. That's why I started thinking that her allegations for the last 3 years against P. Diddy is true now. Damn, am I going backwards? This is an old prophecy. This is her, and I like her.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. This is your sister Karen, and his heart is not. It's gone a long time. It's gone a long time. Sorry, it's gone
She's
a long
talking
time.
about Jace. This is over a year ago.
And Ahaya is going to remove all these idols. That is a stumbling block.
Can I get y'all to see it? Hold on.
That is a stumbling block to the body of Christ.
This.
That is what Ahaya is going to do. Because people see these idols and they don't see Christ. If you have a ministry, people have to see Christ through through your ministry. They cannot look at you and see and think that, you know, they
This
have
is
to
the
go
best.
through you to get to the Most High. That's idolatry. You lead them to the Savior.
This is Sister
But
Carrie Ann.
Jakes is not the
Hers
only
is.
one. Brothers
You
and
see
sisters,
where
a
it
few of
says
these
that?
mega so-called pastors are going to leave
She
this world.
replayed this
I'm
5
telling you,
days
they are
ago.
going to leave. A few of them are going to leave. So this is a little clip of T.D. Jakes having the seizure, and then after that, I want you to watch the video from 2021.
Oh wow, 3 years ago.
2021, I prophesied that this is going to happen. All right, that T.D. Jakes' life is not safe. All right, I've got about 2 videos, but I'll play this one first. All right, okay, brothers and
You thought
sisters.
you was going to encourage them and they encourage you. That's what preaching is like. You think you're giving out something, but you're getting back more than you gave. I love you. Now, Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, my strength, my redeemer. Let them go in peace.
Now, who is he talking about? Let him go in peace. Who is he talking about? Oh, maybe he talking about that guy. Oh, with the lawsuit.
Hi guys, this is your sister Carrie-Ann in Jesus Christ. Brothers and sisters, I want to quickly do this video because something has impressed in my spirit for the past 2 days concerning T.D. Jakes. And it's very, very pressing in me. In 2017, I had a vision concerning T.D. Jakes. Let me just stop right here. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. I've got to stop. Fakers are in the description box. Wicked demonic scammers pretending to be me, and it's not me. They're using my name, my profile picture. It's not me. You will know when I make a comment. Whenever I make a comment, my name is in solid gray. If it's not in solid gray, it's not me. It is a faker. All right, who's begging for money, who is giving fake prophecies and all of that. It's not me. So whenever I comment, Sister Carrie-Ann is in solid gray. All right. So that is me when I comment. All right. So brothers and sisters. So it's been pressed in my spirit concerning T.D. Jakes, and I wanted to do a video about him about 3 months ago. The Lord has impressed in my spirit to really expose Jake. Even though I had visions about him, and I will leave that pin, a very powerful vision concerning T.D. Jakes. I will leave that pin in the description box. All right, so you can watch my playlist on false prophets.
Okay, come on.
But also so-called Christian celebrities coming on, paying tribute to Jake or Rick Warner, and then somebody said that they're going to make a movie about T.D. Jakes' life. Now, this is 2017 vision that I have. I've come to realize that Taylor Perry, Taylor Perry, that Judgement, Taylor Perry, good friends. The reason why I'm saying this is because 2018 or 19, I think so, there was a clip going around.
Dang, y'all, I got to go. I'm going to have to bring this back as part 2. I got to leave. Damn, I was trying to get this. Oh, I'm sorry, God. All right, y'all. And then y'all get to see my kitchen. All right.